Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Dear Dad podcast. This is the place where we address dad dynamics and discuss personal experiences, stories, and poem submissions to help provide a platform for healing while simultaneously uplifting one another. Let's change the dad narrative all around. Let's go. Let's grow. Okay, guys, first and foremost, I just want to thank you guys for continuing to subscribe, continue to like, continue to sharing. But in addition, I just want you guys to go on Apple or any device that you go on, any platform that you go on, and give me a 5-star rating. It's very important. It would be great. You've been listening for this long. I think it'd be nice that you give me a little courtesy of 5-star rating, but I'm looking forward to it. So this is season 2 wrap up. Season 2 was phenomenal. It was great. It was beautiful. It was impactful. But I just want you guys to get out of the snippet just in case you didn't get the full amount or the full episodes. This is going to be a little snippets of each episode that went on for season 2. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care. So typically I almost avoid watching anything that has to do with slavery. Anything that has to do with racism, I try to avoid because it gives me an uncomfortable feeling. I cannot sit down and watch any kind of racist movie or anything kind of racist documentary because it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel unease. I cannot sit in my chair for too long and watch these things right in front of me that happened, in the past. It's hard for me. I'm not saying I shouldn't watch it. I'm not saying it's not educational. For me, it's just a little hard. So almost every movie that I've watched that had to do with slavery and the way slaves were being abused and they were being neglected and they were being separated from the family, all those things have an effect on me. It just changed my views. It just have a different feeling for me. So I always try to avoid it as much as possible. And it's hard to. It's really hard to. So now I'm sitting here today, June 14th, 2020, and I'm listening to the radio and I'm listening to news talking about this event that just happened. George Floyd. I said his name in the beginning again, and there's a reason. George Floyd, because his life was taken from him unnecessarily. May 25th, 2020. He died. Floyd died. How? A white officer pressed his knees to Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes during that arrest. Floyd was handcuffed face down in the street, while 2 other officers further restrained Floyd, and a 4th prevented onlookers from intervening. For the last 3 of those minutes, Floyd was motionless and had no pulse, but officers had made no attempts to revive him. The officer kept his knees on Floyd's neck till the EMT came to treat him. 9 minutes, nearly 9 minutes to put your knees, nearly 9 minutes. You place your knees on someone's neck to restrain him, a person that was not even fighting back. 9 minutes. You just kneeled there without moving. Floyd stopped moving the last 3 minutes, and still they refused to check his pulse. They refused to see if he was still alive. For me, that's just profound, where you have no respect, no remorse for human life. Or, for a black life. Because I'm pretty sure if it was a white person, it would not happen. I'm pretty sure if it was a white person, this would not ever occur. So why? Why? Why don't you have any remorse for any black lives? I'm black, and I have a son. I'm raising a son. I'm a black man that goes out into the world. I drive to work if I have to. I drive to the store if I have to. I go all times of the day to get whatever I need to get, to the store, whatever it is. And the scary thing is I might not come back. I might not come back to my wife. I might not come back to my son. I am a black man raising a black son. So now I have to mentally train myself, physically train myself, emotionally train myself to teach my son how to come home safe.
I'm Gabe Million. I really love my family, and I'm really happy for you to ask me to be here. I never really thought about it till one of your podcasts, and I think it was one of the early ones when you were talking about saying "love," "I love you" to your kids, and
Mm.
I think I had commented, and I was like, "Damn, man, I don't think I've ever really said I love you to my dad."
Mm.
You all know that you do love them, and it's someone that you love, but it's more of like in a Haitian heritage, like we know our parents love us, but
Mm-hmm.
you just don't say it,
Right.
and I was never really comfortable saying it. It's not until I observed certain family members myself, um, I'll quote unquote new age, where I
Right.
saw their interaction with their kids,
Mm.
and they were saying I love you left and right to their kids, where I didn't even have a kid yet. I have a son now, but that's when I'm like, oh man, this thing is okay. It's good to show your son. So when I saw your that podcast, when I was listening to it, it really resonated with me because it's something that I've experienced where, and not until that time is when I really started saying, okay, I'm going to force
Mm.
myself to say I love you to my dad. I remember the one time I was in a cab. My dad is, like I said, he's a very religious person, very spiritual. And he used to give out things called tracts. So that's like these little pamphlets,
Right.
Christ-like. And he used to give them out. And one day we were in a cab riding home from church. And he gave it to the cab driver. And when we exited the cab driver threw it out, like really crumbled it up and threw it out the window just to make sure my dad could see it. And I was
Wow.
upset. I was like, yo, why do you keep doing this? You giving it to these people, and this is what they're doing. They're disrespecting you. They're crumbling and throwing it in your face. And I was
Mm.
upset. I think that was one of the only times I stood up to my dad and just expressed that type of, I wouldn't say it's anger, but it was just a frustration.
Right.
And he just looked at me. He said, I did my part. So I'm
Mm.
okay with whatever happens. For me, I think legacy is very important. And I
Mm.
think it's because that we're such, like, our family is such a big family, but we're tight, which is weird.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a big family. And, we can gather up and we can not speak to each other for a while, but when we get together, it's like
Ha.
riding a bike, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, and so that legacy is very important for me. And the minute I knew that that was something that I was blessed with, I wanted to nurture that. I'm
Mm.
not going to be here forever, but I know whatever I was able to establish within my son will live. And,
Mm.
and he can take that and build upon it, the same way I built on what my dad has given me and what his father has given him. When
Mm.
God gives you a gift and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take care of this gift. It's like when somebody gives you something that's really nice
Mm-hmm.
and that you really like it, and you like, I have to be responsible. I can't drop it. I can't, because this is precious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all those things is really what fatherhood means to me, and I want to take care of it. One way that I took care of it, the minute I found out that I was having a son, I think the day after I found out, I went and got life insurance.
Mm.
Right away,
Mm.
um, because I wanted to take care of it. I was already thinking of when I'm not here.
Right.
Yeah, how is he gonna survive or she gonna survive at that time? Um, so, that's what it means to me. It's just God has given me a gift, and for the however long He's allowing me to, you know, to have that gift in my possession, quote unquote. I'm going to try to take care of it, and I'm going to try to make sure that it grows and it basically lives up to its full potential.
I think I would probably start off by saying that I didn't really know who Dudley was until a couple of years ago.
Mm.
I think the majority of my life was trying to match my expectations to what I felt like would ultimately be my purpose. From everything I can say about my dad, I think if I were to sum everything up about him, I would pretty much say that he was a man that allowed people to understand the importance of life. All in all, my relationship with dad with my father was the best. I mean, he was a person that gave me a sense of what leadership looks like. From a young age, I was considered to be a leader, even though I don't know even at that time if I knew exactly what leadership was. I was bred in that sense to be a leader, and amongst at least my community of faith in New York, people saw me to be that, and I try to live up to the expectations of my father and to the desire that he wanted for me. I think he molded me sort of in the image that he would have wanted for himself if everything worked out in his favor. And so I think I was very favored and privileged. And so I can't really say that there was a time where I've ever had anything bad to say in regards to my dad. I mean, maybe now, it's easy to say that in retrospect when he's gone, right? And so a lot of times you only highlight the good. That's the only things you choose to remember. But for me now, I realized him just to be a huge influence over my life. Him and I, we were friends, man. We were partners. Fatherhood has allowed me more of an awareness of who I am than any other part of my life. Fatherhood is a responsibility that you literally cannot take a break from. Fatherhood is a sense of an accomplishment that you never know the joy it provides until you have it. I never knew how badly I wanted to be a father until I became a father. There's no joy like fatherhood. But in that same sense, it really shows you who you are and who you're not.
I am Patrick Samaxent. I am a husband, a father, a son, a brother, a friend, a child of God. My dad, my parents, we all grew up in the same house. So we have a lot of family, but none of them were around. Like my uncles are in Canada or Florida and stuff like that. So it was my dad. So he took that responsibility. There are other, members that were in our church that also played a fatherly role, but my dad knew he was primary. Like I don't really have uncles to run to and talk to and say, "Here, talk to me about this or talk to me about that." It was him, and he knew that, and he took that responsibility on full well. I remember when we were growing up, he used to be like, "Listen, I know you're gonna do what you want to do anyway, but try and heed my warning." He's kind of like the old wise man. Try and heed my warning. Just try and listen to me. And his whole thing was, it was always, I've been through it too. You know what I mean? No matter what you're going through, I've been through it too. So he definitely tried to relate on that aspect. And he's like, listen, I know you're young, you're growing up, you're doing all these things, you're going to try these things, you're going to do these things. I did it too. But more or less, counsel with me. I'm not going to scold you. I'm not going to beat you. I'm not going to do that stuff. You're my son. I love you. I want the best for you. But counsel with me, because I may be able to save you from some trauma and some issues. To the point where he's like, listen, the only thing I'm asking you really not to do is don't do drugs. He's like, that'll mess you up no matter what. He's like, this is in our teenage years. He's like, I know you're gonna experiment, you're gonna talk to girls, you're gonna do all that stuff. Even if you're gonna go pregnant, tell me. You know what I mean? It wasn't really a sex talk. It was more of like, I already know what's going on. I already know what's going on. But if something happens, if you get to go pregnant or something, let me know. Talk to me. Tell me. Yeah, he was very genuine in that sense. Just to double back, you said that I sound like him even though you've never met him. And I think a part of that is, well, one, my dad is way more energetic than I am. So I'm the calmer version of him to say. But I think a lot of it has to do with I listened to a lot of his wisdom, and a lot of his wisdom did save me a lot in life. You know, even though I did my own thing, his wisdom did save me a lot in life. And now that I'm a father and certain situations that I went through, thinking back on the stuff that he said, I'm like, wow, he actually was right. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm able to take that wisdom now and move forward with it, and hopefully pass it down to my two boys as they grow up. When my first son, Patrick Jr., was born, um, that it's crazy as it sounds, and like I said, I was young, but that's the catalyst that I needed to kind of turn my whole life around. You know what I mean? I wasn't living wild and reckless or anything of that nature, but I was kind of moseying along without any purpose. And now I have this child and this woman who's depending on me. So it's kind of like, what are you going to do? And I took that responsibility head on, and I've embraced it ever since, man. Fatherhood, I'm almost speechless when I think about it and when I describe it. But it's not a game. It's definitely not. It's definitely not for the lighthearted. Like, you gotta, and it saddens me to see so many kids without their fathers, and how much society downplays fatherhood. Like, kids need their fathers, man. Like, for real, for real. I like I said before, I couldn't have made it as far as I did without him. So now I want to do the same thing for my son, for both of my sons, and maybe any other children I may have in the future.
I'm Moise. BJ and I are not only brothers in Christ, but we are friends, and really appreciate his friendship. He is also a model of what a good dad and a good husband should be. So I feel blessed to be his friend. I think of my dad as possibly having three dads, right? One, my first experience with my dad, as knowing him, coming to know that I exist and that he exists as my father, is that he was my hero, right? And then once I got a little older and I came to the States and we were in the States together, I didn't see him in the same light. He wasn't that hero that I remembered him to be. And then as I got older, our relationship was different, and I could see that, the hero that I saw in him as a child and the flaws that I discovered in him as a teenager can actually coexist in one person. And I can appreciate him more now as an adult, that he can be a flawed hero, and I can accept him that way. That's what parenting is about, giving them, your children something better than you receive. And there's progress in your family line, where each generation is essentially outdoing the previous generation. I back to my parents, and this is something that my father says. As flawed as I can say that my dad was, or my dad is, he is 100 times better to me, or 100 times a better father to me than his father was to him. So, and knowing that, I appreciate his efforts even more. So it kind of makes sense to know your history, your own history, your own family history, so that you can appreciate the people that are caring for you. I can appreciate my mom for the type of mother that she is, especially when I know that she is giving me so much more than she ever got. I would say that fatherhood is extremely difficult. It's extremely rewarding, and you can simply do your best. You learn as you get older. You learn what mistakes you could have avoided, what mistakes you can avoid in the future. But a lot of it is trial and error. If for instance, the mistakes that my father made, I can learn from them, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to make mistakes of my own as a dad. At some point, you become mature enough to be able to step back and say, I'm going to be a dad. And I know that being a dad is not about me. It's about,
Mm.
helping that person become the best person that they can be.
Okay, let's take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back after this sponsor. Hey guys, Redemption Darius, aka BJ here from Dear Dad Podcast. Now, when I started this podcast, I wanted a platform where I can record and upload my content very easily. I didn't want to go through any hoops to get my podcast out there. When I did start my podcast, I was on a different platform. But after I was introduced to Anchor not once, not twice, but over 3 times by my close friends, I decided to give Anchor a try. I must say, I absolutely love it. Not only is it easy to use, but I am able to record, edit, post, and publish all my episodes right there on the app or the site. I was able to transfer all my episodes onto Anchor in less than 5 minutes. That, for me, was unbelievable. Oh yeah, here's the best thing of all. It's free. It is free to use. Yeah, I know, that's crazy, but take my word on this. It's true. Using Anchor has definitely made podcasts so easy. Trust me, you'll love it. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hashem Lafod.
I'm excited. I'm somebody's father, somebody's husband, somebody's son, somebody's brother, and that is who I am. And that's the core of it. And I get to do some cool things as a profession. Yeah, I try not to define myself for the things that I do. I like to do things. I like to be who I am, and then everything I do is like adding on to it. But when he came back one time, and then my father was like, "All right, I'm packing and I'm leaving."
Wow.
And so that was heartbreaking for me. At around I was around 13, and so I was bitter towards him. I didn't want to speak to him because I felt like he left me. I took it personal. It was more my parents together. I was like, no, I thought I had the perfect household. And so I went through. I remember going in the. I remember I was in middle school. I was in 8th grade, and this is the day after. This is the morning after, and the teacher called on me to answer a question. I already fixed in my mind, nobody better talk to me today. I don't want anybody talking to me. And you get that little frog in your throat, like it's there. And if you say one more word, it's coming out. So I was he was like, he called on me. So my first name is Lionel. My father's name was Lionel too, but just to so they can say a different name. My name was Hashem. I went by my middle name. And so the teacher would call me Lionel, and I'm like, and he said, Lionel, I was like, and he's like, come outside. He stepped into the hallway. It's one of my first black teachers, and then he said, what happened? I said, well, my father left me, and I busted out crying. I let it all out. My teacher hugged me, and he said, like, don't worry, both of my parents left me, and I was raised by my grandmother. Like, and he just to have somebody relate to me at that point, I'm like, it felt like I was relieved, like I wasn't alone. I enjoy building the dopest, most creative, most fun life for them. We just bought a bunch of glow sticks. We bought like 500 glow sticks because we want to turn the lights off and do a dance party with just the glow sticks.
Let's take the idea right now.
Yeah, right.
Let's take that
Go to
idea.
Target, get like a little jumbo pack of the glow stick, and we're gonna do that. And we're gonna do like a TikTok video with that, because that's what the kids want to do, and that's fun. That's fun to me. I enjoy creating this limitless, imaginative household where my children will actually challenge us on being creative and being free.
Maxime or Max. My brothers call me Max. Some people call me Maxime. That's the Haitian way of saying it. I'm a pretty cool guy. I'm an okay guy, but I'm also, pretty rash, pretty strong-willed. I could be hard-headed, of course.
That's an understatement.
But one thing about me is I love, pretty hard. My family is like everything to me, and you pretty much, if you mess with anybody in my family, you could just include me in the mix if somebody is coming after you. I remember I was about to leave. I had put my book bag on, and we just had an argument, and it was something in my heart. I kid you not, it was something that was like holding me, like, yo, you can't leave right now. You cannot leave. And so I went back to my father, and I said to my father, Dad. I said, no, excuse me, not Dad. I said, Max. I know, things are bad, and I know we just argue, but I said, the reality is, you're my father, and I love you. BJ, that was the first time I ever said I love you to my father. First time. And that was the last time, because that's the last time I saw him.
Wow.
Because after that, he had a stroke. A couple of days later, he had a stroke because he was non-compliant with certain things he was supposed to do, and he didn't want to do it. So he had a stroke. He ended up with a ventilator, the very thing I was learning about in school, for like a week, and then he died. It's funny because you hear the thing about like being a born again Christian, right? Where you die and you become this new person, right? And I think the same thing, not the same thing, but similar, happens when you have your first kid, because that person who I used to be is done with. I just don't care about myself anymore. Not to the point where like I want to throw my life away. It's just to the point where everything I do is to better my son. Fatherhood, man, I tell you, it felt like I was bred to be a father. And when I say bred, you would think I'm talking about my father, but I'm actually not. I'm talking about my family. I've sat there, like I said, I've watched. I always watch. I sit there and I watch, and I take notes and I copy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I seen my cousin P become a father, Gabe become a father, awesome father. See my brothers become parents. I was out of all my brothers, I was the last one to have kids, and I just watched, and then I see the stuff they do, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna be like this. Okay, I see what they're gonna do. I see what they feed. Like my uncle Roosevelt, I pretty much stole his whole type of pretty much the stuff that he feeds his kids. I'm very big on organic food and certain types of foods for my kids, and so I saw what he's done. So I took that. That's good for him. But I was ready. I was ready and anxious, and I felt like I soak up everything I need to soak up, all the information. Look at my mom of what type of person she was, and Some people they say they wasn't ready to be a father,
Mhm.
which that's of course there's no knock that. That's life, the situation. It definitely. But those people I know that's like that, they step up to the game and became a great parent. For me, I was ready. I was sitting there, just ready for it to happen. And April 22nd was my chance, my biggest chance. And when my son came into this world, man, I died.
Mm.
And I became a whole new person.
Right. Let me introduce you guys to Jonathan Darius.
What's going on, people? How you feeling out there? Yeah, they can't answer back.
I don't think so.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know which worse, seeing your father out in parties and things like that, and then you're going home without your father, and you're saying, wow, he was just there. Like, I don't have a father. I'm going home without him. Or being in the house with someone, you see him every day, but he's not making any effort to be a father. So I don't know which one is worse, because I don't see, I didn't go through what you went through. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you what I went through. It's horrible. Now that I'm older, and now that I see things is more in the light, I can see that. How was that even accepted by anyone? How was that even accepted by my
Right.
mom? You get what I'm saying? I said, my mother heart, your heart is so big that you okay with sharing the credit for things that you work for things that you did. Why are you okay with sharing the
Right.
credit? You
Right.
get what I'm saying? She never said anything or bad mouth my father and said, hey, I got you this. Your father didn't get you this. I don't really think I've ever told him I love him.
Wow.
I don't even think I ever said that to him once. And him not being here now, like, why can't I want to tell you I love you? No matter what you did or what you didn't do,
Right.
I want to tell you I love you, but I can't. That's one thing people should take from listening to this podcast or anybody else's podcast or anything like that. This is coming from a person with a deceased father. If you need to tell him you love him, or you need to tell him how you're feeling, or anything, just, you never know when it's your last day. Every step, everything you do trickles down to your kid. And it's hard to grasp that and understand that in terms of the job you have, how much money you're making, the place you live, everything, it affects your kid. So it's natural for you to do your best at everything you do just because you have a kid, The experience of fatherhood wasn't as bad for me, only because I have such a strong support in terms of my mom and my brothers. Strong support. I could take my son, drop him to my mother's house, and leave for a day, 2 days, not worry about him eating, not worry about anything. But I don't do that. I still worry about those things, but I don't have to, only because my mom is there. You understand?
Right.
It was challenging for different things, only because the person I had my son with, she was the reason why fatherhood was so rough. Oh, and I would say is so rough now. If you're able to just be your best self, and not to sound like textbook or anything, but if you're able to be your best self and just grasp that everything you do affects your kid, then fatherhood shouldn't be too hard.
Wow, who is Michael? First and foremost, a compassionate guy, very family oriented. You know what I mean? Everything to me is family. There is no brothers or cousins over here. Everybody is just brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So, very family oriented. I'm a father of two. I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. I was actually one of the first in the family with a boy. I was right after Peggy's son, Aiden, and I'm the third brother of 4 boys from my mother and my father. Very caring, compassionate, funny guy. I love to joke. I love to make people smile. That's one of my hobbies, to make people smile and laugh. very giving person when it comes to his family. But when it came to my brother and I, he wasn't like that with us. He wasn't giving. So that's why I say it was weird. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would give, if my cousin Peggy would call him and say, hey, Max, I need $100, he'll give him $120. Give him $120. But if I was to be like, hey, I need $50, then I don't have it, ask your mother, you know? That's why I said,
Wow.
yeah, that's why I say it was weird. And I only say that because it happened before. So that's why I say it was weird. But he's a very giving person when it comes to his family, but not his family. 2 weeks after he was born, I brought him home. And then I just walk with them wrapped up in the house. And I go, here. And my mother's like, what's that? What's your grandson? And this big commotion breaks out. She's crying. My father's crying. I didn't finish school at the time. So Martin's like, yo, you better finish school. He goes, I'm going to F you up. You better finish school. And he's crying. And then Max left work early. He's coming home to fight me. Like, I don't know what was that going to do. Let's say you beat me up, right? All right, now you just beat me up. Like, the baby's still gonna be right here. So he left, but he said when he saw the baby, he was like, I can't do nothing about this. This was my nephew. It was a big commotion. Being a father is one of the proud things I could say I've accomplished. Like, especially the two boys that I'm raising, I'm seeing become men now. That is one of the most proud moments of my life.
Mm-hmm. Who is Martin?
I'm a nice, easygoing person. I'm a family man, a hard worker, and I'm a person that has a lot of morals and beliefs. To sum it down, my father is a person that, wherever he is or wherever he goes, or he will always, leave his mark. You will know who my father is. Everybody know my father, Max. Max Darius. He was a clown. He was a person that enjoyed family company. He was also a person that, that would do anything for the family too. He would go to extra length. Once I had kids, everything became about them.
Right.
You put them first more than anything else. You want to make sure that they're good. You want to make sure that they have, food to eat, clothes on their back. You want to make sure they're going to the right school. They're doing the right things, making the right decisions. They're growing up right. Like I said, when you have a kid, when you have a child, everything changes in life. Being a father could be, exciting. It could be, you could have ups and downs. It could be challenging, but just remember that you have children that's looking up to you, looking up to you for for guidance.
Right.
Looking up to you, to help them get through life and learn different things in life, and how to ride a bike, or how to tie my shoes. Daddy, I like this girl, and how should I approach him? Dad, I need some advice on this and that. Fatherhood can be challenging, but there's nothing in this world that would stop me from being a father to my kids.
Okay, guys, once again, I just want to thank you guys for joining and continue to join and supporting. If you guys can support me and give me a 5-star rating, I think I deserve it. I really do think I deserve it. I don't want a 2. I don't want a 1. I don't even want a 4. So give me a 5-star rating. I think I deserve it. I believe I deserve it. I do deserve it. Yes, I believe I deserve it. Anyway, guys, thank you for continuing to coming back. I am working on season 3. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. But I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I will catch you guys in a few. Bye. Okay, let's take another brief commercial break. We'll be right back. For more Dear Dad podcasts, visit Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Make sure you check Dear Dad Podcast on your favorite Instagram social media platform at Dear Dad Podcast. Catch you later.